Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, and today I want to do a full review of Little Firecracker by Paradise Galleries. I initially considered doing a box opening of this doll when I received it, but I decided that it was best to take some time to own the doll, interact with the doll, and take time to really look at the little details so I can give an honest and as objective as possible of a review. Because in the midst of the moment when you are doing a box opening, everything is cute and everything is fantastic, and it's not until later that you actually notice the little defects and flaws that a doll might have. So I really wanted to give myself some time with the doll to be able to notice all of those details before giving a review of any kind. Full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Paradise Galleries. This is not an incentivized review. I don't have an affiliate link or discount code or anything like that. I bought this doll with my own hard-earned money. And because this was my first time ever ordering from Paradise Galleries doll, I wanted to give my views and my opinion as someone who has never bought a doll from this website, just as a first-time collector, so that other people that might be considering buying a doll from Paradise Galleries can look at this video and make their own opinions. So let's start with the general information of the doll, general specs of this doll. Like I said, this is Little Firecracker, and he was sculpted by Janie Delange. I apologize if I'm completely butchering that name, but every time that I look up how to pronounce a sculptor's name, everyone pronounces it differently, so I'm not sure about the pronunciation. So again, if I just got that completely wrong, I apologize. But as you can see, he is an African American doll. He has a darker skin, black curly hair. His eyes are like a light brown, almost hazel. He has blushing on his skin. He has tipped nails and tipped toenails, but we will look at all of those details later on when I bring you up closer to look at the doll. So what he comes with a stars and stripes type of romper. It does Velcro on the back. He comes with a red bandana bib that says Little Firecracker embroidered on it, and it does snap at the back. He comes with some shoes. These shoes do not Velcro or button or anything like that. You just have to slide them on and off. He comes with a certificate of authenticity with all of the information of the doll and with the sculptor's name and everything. All these dolls are numbered, by the way. And he comes with a white magnetic pacifier. So that's all that he comes with in the box. This doll retails for $89.99. That's the full price of the doll. It is listed on the website as being 21 inches, but I feel like this doll is larger than that. And I measured him, although I didn't measure him quite properly, he did turn out to be 22.5 inches. And I tried a bunch of newborn size clothing on him from different brands that they all run, some bigger, some smaller, and he didn't fit newborn. I think he fits better in a 0 to 3 months size. The sleeper that you see him wearing right now, it's from Posh Peanut, and although it is a newborn size and technically it fits him, it's really snug and it's really difficult to put it on him, so I would still recommend a 0 to 3 month size clothes, unless it's a brand like Little Me that runs extremely big, then you can get away with buying newborn. But I think 0 to 3 month size is best for this doll. So now I'm going to take you guys closer to look at the doll's details. So I wanted to bring you guys up close here so you can see some of his details. His hair is really nice and surprisingly soft. It doesn't have that like stiff synthetic feel to it. Of course, when you just take him out of the box, his hair is quite squished. He has travel hair, so you kind of have to poof it out a little bit, but be careful. You don't want to brush your fingers through it or comb out the hair, because that will just get it all frizzy and crazy, and it will lose the factory curls, and it'll be really difficult to get them back to how they were. So you just want to gently pat it to fluff it up a little bit and loosen up the shape from the travel hair. So this is his face. He does have blushing on the forehead, the cheeks, the elbows, the hands. My camera is not quite picking it up, but you can see there a little bit, the blushing on the hands. Right there, the elbow, the knees, and also the feet. So those are his eyes. Very pretty. I love his lips. They're perfectly done. They're not overly gloss. It doesn't look like he's wearing lip gloss or anything, or lipstick. They're just perfectly glossed. His limbs are jointed, so you can move the arms around freely, the legs as well, they are jointed. However, the head does not move. The head is just stiff. It doesn't seem to have a ring on it to allow it to turn. It's just fixed in his place. He does wear a size 1 diaper pretty well. The website lists him as being 21 inches, but frankly, I think he's larger than that. He's a pretty big doll, surprisingly. So he does have tipped nails, as you can see there. I can't remember if the website listed this as being hand painted or not, or if these are done by a machine. Now the hands, his hands are okay, but the feet is where I have some of the issues. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see the nail ends actually down here, but they're actually tipped only halfway down the nail. There we go. So you can see where the mold shapes the nail, but they're not tipped where they are supposed to be. They're not painted where they are supposed to be painted. Same on this feet, and this feet actually is missing a white tip, as you can see there. It's just straight up missing. The same issue, they're not painted where they are supposed to be painted according to the sculpt. I also had a problem when I got him. He had a lot of hair, like from his actual head, trapped in his eyes, like underneath the eyelashes and the top and bottom. But I was able to remove that with a pair of tweezers, and I had no problem with that. But just be aware that you might find your doll with a lot of hair on their eyes. He had a lot of hair everywhere, actually. He still has some fallout from his hair. But other than that, there's nothing really major, nothing wrong with his hair. I love his hair, actually. Very nicely rooted head of hair. And yeah, those are his details. So as you can see, for being a manufactured doll, he is actually really well made. I was really surprised, first of all, by his size. He's a lot larger than I expected him to be. He doesn't weigh a whole lot, that I already knew because of the information. I think these dolls weigh just a little over 2 pounds, and that's fine with me. Some people prefer the dolls to be heavier, but personally, I like that they are not that heavy, because not everyone can carry around a 7-pound doll. Some people have different conditions. Also, for kids and very young collectors, they won't be able to carry around a whole lot of weight for extended periods of time. So I do like that they weigh their dolls very, very lightly, and they are weighted with beads at the bottom of their cloth body. What I will say again is the defect of the painting on the toenails. That's the only thing, the only sort of complaint that I have. But because I've never ordered a doll from Paradise Galleries, I'm not sure if that's just standard practice, if that's a very common mistake of their dolls, or if I just so happen to get the doll that has that sort of defect. I will say that is a very common manufacturing defect. That's not impossible to happen at a factory. Paradise Galleries does claim that the nails and the toenails are hand painted, so they're not made by a machine, they're made by someone. And yes, mistakes like that can still happen. Unless you've worked at a factory, you might not know what factory life is like, what it's like to be an employee. I work at a factory personally, and let me tell you right now that manufacturing jobs are not easy. We are not giving a lot of time to assemble or do anything, and yet perfection is expected from us. That's not possible. We are human. For privacy reasons, I will not say which company do I work for, but in one of the jobs that I have, in one of my positions, the responsibility that I have is to place decals on a plastic box. And I have a total of, I think, 6 decals to place on the box. And I have to place all of those decals in less than 20 seconds. I'm not giving a lot of time. I do not have a stencil to work with that can give me the actual placement of the decals. I don't have a machine that puts those decals on for me. I just have to place them manually as straight as I possibly can in the box. And that's not always possible. Again, I'm human, I'm not a machine. And I'm not given the exact measurements or the placement for each of those decals. So some boxes look better than others in terms of how those decals are placed. So when I see these toenails that are painted only halfway, I can see how that's just a human mistake. So I'm not angry at that. That happens with anything that is factory made. That just happens. Now, every factory should have quality control. Now, different factories, different brands, how they handle their quality control is always different. Some people have very, very strict quality control. Others do not. Brands like Build-A-Bear, I swear that they have zero quality control. I've seen so many weird bears that they've put in their stores or that you can order online and get a super defective bear. It's very common. They really don't have a lot of quality control in my opinion. So again, because this was my first time ordering, I really don't know how strict they are with their quality control. I'm not sure if maybe if I contact them, they will replace the doll or something. But because I personally am not bothered by the toenails, I really don't care if they're not painted properly. I really haven't reached out to Paradise Galleries for this, but just so that you are aware, I received a doll with that defect. It might happen to you. Just putting it out there, just to let you know, that's something that can happen. Besides the defect with the toenails, I do find that the doll sheds a lot of hair. Every time that I handle the doll, hair is everywhere. It's all over the clothes. It's all over my hands. It ends up all over me. And because of the nature of this particular doll's hair, which is curly, I don't want to brush it out because I will brush out the factory curls and there will be like no way to bring it back to how they look right now. So I just leave them be, but just be prepared. This doll might end up shedding a lot of hair when you first get it out. It's going to be everywhere, but you know, it gets better over time. So if you were to ask me, I am personally very satisfied with the quality of the doll for what I paid for it. It really hits that sweet spot between just a standard baby doll that you can find at any store, and a reborn doll. They're very nicely made. For being a factory doll, you still get a lot of good quality, that sort of reborn feel, but at a much more affordable price. However, that price does reflect on some of the aspects of the doll, like you can get some little mistakes here and there. It hits that sweet spot of wanting another doll that is more realistic than what you can typically find on stores without the hefty price tag of a reborn doll. And I am very satisfied with the quality personally. However, where I am not satisfied is with their shipping. Now, every online retailer has different rates and shipping carriers depending on where the package will be delivered. They use whatever carrier is cheapest to them, and whatever is best for them, that's what they will choose for different states and areas and what have you. Now, I am in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. If you ship from the contiguous USA to Puerto Rico, well, it is an overseas shipment. It is not an international shipment. Things do not need to go through customs. They will not be held or anything. They will literally just go from one facility to the other. And that's just it. It's not going to change postage. It's not going to get a new tracking number, nothing like that. If you ship something from the US to Puerto Rico, it will stay the same, and it will just go from a facility in Florida to Puerto Rico. So you can imagine my surprise when I tried to order this doll. And when I placed in my address, it only gave me one shipping rate, and it was from FedEx, and it is their international economy shipping, which is over $89. Let me tell you right now that there is no good or legitimate reason why something coming from the US should cost $89 to ship to Puerto Rico. There is no good reason for that. I understand that they're basically using FedEx for anything that goes outside of the contiguous USA. I think FedEx just makes it easier for international shipments. I've noticed that with a lot of websites, whenever something is international, they just go with FedEx. And, I can understand, but really $89, they're basically expecting me to pay the price of a second doll to ship just one to my location. And not just that, but the expected delivery date, it can take from 20 to 50 days. So I can be stuck waiting for 2 months and not have my doll. Again, there is no legitimate reason why a shipping rate to Puerto Rico should be that expensive nor take that long of a time to be delivered. Unless Forrest Gump is literally running with my package to hand deliver it to me, it should not take 2 months to deliver a package. And yes, I have heard from local collectors here in Puerto Rico who have ordered from Paradise Galleries, and yes, it takes 2 months. Poor lady. Paradise Galleries printed the wrong address on the shipping label, and so the package took 2 months to get here. Then it was returned because it had the wrong address, so it was another 2 months to get back to Paradise Galleries, and then another 2 months to be sent back to the correct address. So 6 months later, and she still didn't have the doll that she paid for. That is ridiculous, and that is honestly unacceptable. Things coming from the US to Puerto Rico, they don't usually take more than a week. And the price, I checked different shipping rates with USPS, and the most expensive I think was $25. That's about it. So I really don't understand why they have that insane shipping rate with FedEx when they can use USPS or really any other service, and it would be cheaper and it would arrive here sooner. It's really ridiculous. I understand that the $89, that's just the price that FedEx gives. That's just their rate. And I understand that Paradise Galleries has no say in that. But Paradise Galleries can offer other shipping services. There are other carriers that ship here to Puerto Rico, so why not go with something else that it would be a lot cheaper for me and faster? Because unfortunately, while retailers are not responsible for any kind of shipping service, that's still what they're offering, and it adds to the whole experience. When you have a bad experience with the shipping, it kind of takes away from the overall experience with the item. And I don't see how waiting 50 days for a doll will make me want to buy from Paradise Galleries again, especially when I know that there is no good reason for that rate to even exist. So if by some magical reason someone from Paradise Galleries is watching this, please reconsider your shipping rates for US territories. That is my one and biggest complaint with this doll. In fact, I didn't pay for that. What I paid was $10 to have it shipped to a very good friend of mine, bless her heart. She's in Virginia, and then she forwarded it to me. And even then, having it delivered to her and then her delivering it to me was still cheaper. It would have cost me a total of $30. And it was cheaper and much, much faster than what FedEx is providing me. So honestly, my biggest complaint is that. And because of that shipping alone, I find it very difficult for me to buy from Paradise Galleries again, because it would mean that I would have to continue to ask my friend to accept this package and then forward it to me. And I don't want to be a nuisance to her. But that's the only way that I can ever see myself buying from Paradise Galleries again, is if I have someone to forward the package for me. Because I just cannot fathom paying $89, the price of $2 for just one, and then having to wait 2 months. That is insane to me. So overall thoughts, I am happy with the quality for the price that I paid. Though I did get a doll with a defect, I'm not personally bothered by it. But in case this might happen to you, if it does, you could contact Paradise Galleries and let them know. Maybe they will do something for you. I'm not too sure about that. However, I do have complaints with their rates and shipping services. But of course, this is for you, the viewer, to decide if you think that the doll is worth it or not. So, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again in the future. Bye bye.